All right, we got an 87 928 S4. Just like to tell you that if you ever come into a situation where you pull the dash out, put it back together, and then like me, I never drive my car at night that often. Then I drove my car at night one day. I was using it because I was working on my Cayenne, and I was driving it back from work. I was actually driving pretty far, over 2-hour drives, and I just realized that that the dash lights was off all in the center in here, and I was like, what's going on? And so long story short, there is dimmer switches, if you didn't know, right there. Oops. And I think there's one on the other side too, but regardless, I think there is two. But note to self, if you ever come into that situation, no lighting on your dash and center console, it's highly likely that you forgot to connect that, or I didn't forget to connect it, but it when you're pushing stuff in, it pull out. So just a lesson learned, and a conversation with a few people that helped me figure out what it was. The first thing is like, did you connect it? I'm like, sure did. And then I looked and I'm like, oh my God, it's popped out. They're really, once you get underneath the car, excuse me, not the car, underneath the dash, it is a pain in the butt. And if your back's not the greatest, which mine isn't, it's just no fun. And I do not, I'm 50 years old, and it's not fun working under a dash anymore. And my one mechanic friend said when the 928s first come out, he said, well, first of all, he does not want to work ever on 928s. He hates them. But he said the only thing, when he worked at the dealership, they would come in and I think they would have clutch problems, and they'd always have their dash pulled out and some other things. He says it was common. He says he doesn't want to work on this trash. But of course, when I got this car, he gave me a hard time, and he's like, dear Lord, there's enough wiring in this car to go to the moon and back. And he says, I do not want to touch this car. So yeah, of course I bought it. But I love this car. It's a great car. Starts well. I mean, every once in a while there's little things that happen. I mean, this is close to, I think, a 36-year-old car. I have to get my calculator out and figure it out. But regardless of that, and take my shoes off and count as well, it's a great car. It runs great. I mean, it's got over 200,000. I mean, I've rebuilt the top end because of the situation, but she runs great, and plenty of power. Yesterday, I don't know why, but people like to race, and I mean, I know I didn't have a chance. This guy in a Camaro with a V8, half his hood was missing, and it had, I think, a supercharger on it. I could hear it, and probably a cam set up, and he was wanting to race, and I mean, I didn't have a chance, but I gave Goose it a little bit, but I wasn't racing him. I knew I didn't have a chance. So anyways, enjoy. Hopefully this helps you, and I'm sure you cut it out on the other stuff, but if this might help you in the future.
As always, please subscribe.